This video is for Access 2016, the project review number 1. So once you log into your geometrics, we're going to go to Office 2016, and I'm going to scroll down to Access, and then I'm going to hover over the project review 1, and we're going to go into training mode. Now I prefer to keep my geometrics window to the left of my Microsoft Office window. You can change that if you'd like. In our main screen, we're just going to click Enable Content so we can work in the area. And I'll go through each section, going through the steps that they have in the Help Me. So first we have in the database options, we're going to click on Rename Database, which is the first step that we need to complete. And it says to rename the current database Geometrics Templates folder in your Documents folder, and we're going to rename it to project.accdb. So if you click on your question mark, it tells you in the File tab, so I'm going to click File tab, locate the Save As group, and in the File Type section, we're going to select Save Database As an Access Database, so that first option. And then if we scroll down, I'm going to click Save As. And we want to navigate to our Geometrics Templates folder. So if you click on Documents, this will come up. So if you're located anywhere else, just click Documents and these subfolders should come up. Yours may be different, but just double click, open up the Geometrics Templates folder, and we're going to enter project.accdb in the file name field. So we're going to delete all of this here and project.accdb. You really don't even need the extension because it will automatically add that for you. Make sure that you're entering it exactly how it appears here. No capitals, it's all lowercase. That is important. It will mark it wrong if you try to capitalize the P. And then we're going to click our Save button. And again, we're just going to enable that content again. So we finish this step. We can check that off so we know we've completed it. And we can move on to the database options step. This one says Modify Database Options, project.accdb, Enable Compact on Close. We click on our hint button. It tells us to go into the File tab, select Options, and in our Options window, we're going to select the current database to the left here, and we want to check off Compact on Close. We're going to select OK here. And it tells us you must close and reopen the current database for the specified option to take effect. Just click OK from there. You don't have to close it and reopen it. All right, so we finished that step. We're going to check that off. And we're going to move on to the Customers Table section. Click that to expand it, and click on the first step, Create Field. It says create a new field, Customer ID field. Name it Customer ID with a data type of auto number. And for the field order, you want it the top field in the table. Click on our question mark. In the navigation pane, we're going to right click on the customers table. And we want to open this in design view. It says in the first empty row in the field name column, we're going to enter customer ID. So I want to click right under join date. And again, I need to type this exactly how they have it in the directions. So that customer is capitalized, just the C, and then the I is capitalized in ID. And then over in the data type field, we're going to select auto number from our dropdown. Number 4 says to select the new customer ID field by clicking on the left side of the left column and then drag it to the top of the list. So if I click on this gray box to the left of it, I want to hold down my left mouse button, and you see that dark bar going across. We want that above customer name Then we can let go of our mouse and it drops into place at the top of the list. Check off that step that we completed it. We're going to move on to primary key. Designate a primary key. Customer ID field set as primary key. So in our navigation pane, we're going to select the customers table. Just click on it so you can see it deselects anything in that design view. We're going to select the customer ID row. Then in the Table Tools Design tab of our ribbon, we're going to locate the Tools group, which is here, and we're going to click on Primary Key. You can see the key comes up next to Customer ID. We're going to check that off, that it's completed. Move on to Remove Text. Find and replace text. Join date field. Remove all instances of T and then a bunch of zeros. Click on your question mark. In the navigation pane, again, we're going to select customers just to deselect any fields. Then we're going to go up to our Table Tools Design tab and locate our Views group. And from that drop down, we're going to switch over to Datasheet View. It says you must first save the table. Do you want to save the table now? You can click yes. Tells us to select the join date field by clicking on the join date field header. So here's join date. I just want to click on the header so it selects that whole entire column. And from the home tab of the ribbon, in the find command group, we're going to select our replace command. And in the find what text box, we're going to enter the text that they have specified. So we want to delete all of this. We have a capital T, 0, 0, colon, 0, 0, colon, 0, 0. Make sure there are no spaces in that and that T is capitalized. We're going to leave the replace with field empty. And from the match drop down, we're going to select any part of the field. You don't want to change anything else. And we're going to select replace all. You won't be able to undo this replace option. Do you want to continue? You're going to select yes. Check off that you've completed that step of remove text, and you can close out of the find and replace. Move on to the data type. It says change a field data type. The join date field, data type date and time, default value of today's date, required field yes, and save and close the table. So in the navigation pane, we want to select the customers table. We're going to go up to our Table Tools Design tab. And select our Views drop down, and we're going to switch over to Design View. And now in number 3, it says in the data type field for join date, we're going to switch this value to date and time. Now in the field property section at the bottom, we're going to select the ellipse in the default value row to open the expression builder. So here we have our default value down in our field property section. If you click to the right column there, you can see you get the 3 little dots, our ellipse. We're going to click to select that. And in our expression elements section, which is located here, we want to expand functions by hitting that plus sign. Then we're going to select built-in functions. Then in the expression category section, we're going to select date time. And in the expression values section, we're going to double click on date. And you can see it adds that to the top. Then we're going to select OK. Down in our our field property section, in the required row now, we're going to change this to yes. And we can save and close the table. So we can just go up to our quick access toolbar, hit our save button. If you get this message, you can just click yes, and then we can close our table out. Just the table, not the whole entire database. Check that off that we've completed data type, and now we can move on to the orders table section. Click on the data type step. Change a field data type. Customer ID field, we're going to change to number, and order date field, the data type we're going to change to date and time, and then save and close the table. So right click the orders table in our navigation pane and select design view. We're going to select the customer ID field, and we're going to change this drop down to number. Then we're going to select the order date field, and we're going to change the data type to date and time. Save up in our quick access toolbar. And you can click yes from here, and then we can close out that table. Check that off that we've completed it, and we can move on to relationships. Click the relationship step. We have a few things to do here. Create one-to-many relationships for project. Table customers, field customer ID, and the related table for that is going to be orders with the field customer ID, and we want to enforce referential integrity. Then for the table of orders, the field is going to be order ID, and the related table is going to be order products with its field order ID. And then also we're going to have the table order products with the field product ID. And the related table for that is going to be products with the field product ID. So in our database tools tab, we're going to locate our relationships group, and we're going to click on the relationships command. We want to select the customers table and click add. And we also want to do that for orders. Add that as well. And then we can close out this dialog box. If you need to, you can resize your relationship boxes. In the box representing the customers table, which is this one, we're going to select the customer ID field, and we want to drag it and drop it right onto the customer ID field for the orders table. And the edit relationships window pops up. We want to enforce referential integrity. It says to click OK. You're not going to click OK. There is no OK here. You want to click create. And you can see you get that relationship line for the customer ID field in each table. Keeping that open, we want to go back up to our ribbon for the design tab and click the show table command. And the show table dialog box opens back up. We want to select the order products table, click add, and then we can close that out again. In the orders table, which is here, we want to select the order ID field and drag it to the order ID field in the order products table. Make sure your cursor is pointing to the right field. You want to drag and drop it, and that edit relationships window opens up again. And from here, we can click Create. And again, you get that line connecting the order ID in each of those tables. Now we're going to show table again to open up that window. This time we're going to select the products table and click Add. And we can close out of here. If you want to, you can move it to the side. You can keep it under if you'd like. I like to keep it to the side to see the clear line of where those fields are relating to each other. In the box representing the order products table, you're going to select product ID field, and you're going to click and drag it to the product ID field in the products table. Holding down your left mouse button, make sure that cursor is pointing to product ID. You can drop it there, and our Edit Relationships dialog box will open, and we can click Create. And you can see that line connects the two fields in each table. Check that off that you've completed it. And we can move on to the US customers query. We can save these relationships and close this window. So here we're going to create a new single table query. Table's customer, fields, all fields, and name is going to be US customers. In the Create tab, we're going to locate the queries group and click the Query Wizard. Here we're going to select Simple Query Wizard and click OK. Then in the Table Queries dropdown, we're going to select the Table of Customers. Here are all the fields. We're going to hit the double arrow button to select every one of those. From here, we can click Next. And then we're going to name this US Customers. Make sure you include that space and everything is capitalized and spelt exactly how they have it here. Then at the bottom, we're going to select Modify the Query Design. And then we can hit our Finish button. Check that off that we've completed it. Move on to the next step, which is Sort Query. The US Customers query is going to be sorted by join date in descending order. The US Customers query should already be open in Design View, which it is. In the Join Date field, we're going to scroll over to the right here. Here's our Join Date field. In the Sort row, which is the third row, click into that and you get the drop-down arrow. We're going to select Descending. Check that off, that is complete. Move on to Modify Query. US Customers Query, Field Country, Criteria USA, and Hide Field. So again, our query should be shown, which it is, in the Country field, which we have down here, in the Criteria row. So where these two meet, I'm going to click in to that cell. And here I'm going to type USA. You want to include the quotation marks here, the double quotes, all capitals. If you don't include the double quotes, it will automatically input them for you. Then in the country field, in the show row, which is this checkbox, we're going to uncheck that. Okay, we finished that step. We can move on to Save Query. Save and close the query. US Customers query. We want to save and close. Again, the query should be still shown as it is. In our quick access toolbar, we want to hit our Save button, and then we can close out our query. Check that off that we've completed it. Orders Processing Query. Create Query. create a new cross-table query, table customers, fields customer ID and customer name. And from the table of orders, we want to include customer ID, order date, and order total, as well as order status with a type of detail, and name it orders processing. So from here, we're going to go to our Create tab of our ribbon. And in the Queries group, we're going to select the Query Wizard again. We want a simple query wizard. From our Table and Queries dropdown, we're going to select the Table of Customers. And this time we want to select individual ones. So make sure Customer ID is selected and hit the single arrow to bring that over. And we also want to do this for customer name. Then we want to change over to table orders. Include the customer ID field here, the order date, order total, and order status. Then select Next. We want to see a detailed query, so make sure detail is selected and click Next. And then we're naming this orders processing. So we're going to clear this out. Again, each word is capitalized here with a space in between. Make sure you spell it right. Triple check. Orders processing. From the bottom here, we want to modify the query design and select Finish. Check off that we've completed that. We're going to go over to Sort Query. Orders processing query, we're going to sort orders table, order date in ascending order, and then the criteria of orders table, order status of processing. Okay, we have our query open. In the order date field, which is located here at the bottom, we want to select ascending from the sort row. So you click into that cell and then click the drop down arrow. And then in the order status field, which is our last one, we want to click in the criteria field, the criteria row, I'm sorry, and enter the word processing. Again, you can put those double quotes in. If not, they will add it for you. Check that off. We're going to move over to the calculated field. Add a calculated field for orders processing query. The field name is going to be days since order. Use the expression builder from table orders, value current date minus the order date, and then run the query. So our query is shown still. We're going to place our cursor in the first empty field next to the order status field. So we can scroll over and we want to click in this first empty field. And in our Query Tools Design tab of our ribbon, we want to locate the Query Setup group, which is located here, and we're going to select Builder. Our Expression Builder window opens up. We want to find the Expression Elements section and expand the Functions box. Then we're going to select Built-in Functions. In our Expression Categories section, we're going to click Date and Time. And in our Expression Values section, we want to double click the date field. Then with our cursor up at the top here next to what it entered, we want to hit enter a minus sign. Then back to our expression element box. In the bottom left here, we want to expand the project.accdb. We want to select the tables that comes up under that. Or you want to expand tables and then select orders under that. Then in the expression category section, we're going to click click on the order date field. And in the expression value section, we're going to double click value. So it says your expression should look like this: date minus orders with an exclamation point and order date. Click OK from here. See our new field is entered at the bottom. And we want to delete everything before the colon. So that's EXPR1. We don't want that field name expression. We want it named days since order. No spaces, capital D, capital S, capital O. Again, type it exactly how they have it. Then we want to test our query. We go up to our design tab of our ribbon and click run. And you can see it runs that and shows it in datasheet view. You can go ahead and save that. Check off the calculated field. Oh, it has us save it next. You can see our datasheet still open, our query still open. Click that in the quick access toolbar and you can check that off. Make sure you're saving your project as you go along. I'm going to stop here and do the next part of the project in another video.